Hello there, and welcome back, our loyal listeners. Or if you're a new listener, thank you very much for joining 5-Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez, alongside Ms. Albert Cita and Guillermo Singh. Hopefully, we don't disappoint you. You keep coming back week after week. This week, got a lot to talk about. UFC 174 is now in the books. Demetrious Johnson is still the only UFC flyweight champion ever. And we also got a bunch of news and notes to talk about. Chael Sonnen.
Can I just say something like right off the bat?
Go ahead.
I was perfect in this card.
Oh, were you?
I had perfect picks. Even though we didn't broadcast the Avant Song Perex pick, I also chose him and he won. So I went perfect on this card. I beat everybody. So there you go.
Yeah, if you want to see our picks, go on our Instagram page. We do it before every fight card. We do our own little picks. And
I think I'm gonna go on my little run right now.
Perfect.
I'm gonna get like five straight.
I was pretty awful. I was like 1 out of 4.
I was pretty awful too, but because you went for the favorites. I mean, come on.
I went for the favorites.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
you're gonna say
no one knows who Cavalcante is. You went for Ryan Bader.
Cavalcante was
and Ryan Bader wasn't
champion.
Impressive.
He beat King Mo.
Ryan Bader wasn't impressive.
Andrei Arlovski.
And we'll talk about that after. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
We'll dissect UFC 154, the fallout, later on in the show. But we got Chael Sonnen, Chris Weidman, Renan Barao on the show. Not on the show, we're talking about them.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah. Also, some Ultimate Fighter news, and also Nick Diaz versus Anderson Silva might just happen. So let's start off today's segment with news and notes. So the first big news out of the week was Chael Sonnen retirement after failing another drug test. So it's 3, I think.
Yeah.
So instead of service suspension, I'm just going to retire. Dana White's on the side. I think Dana was by him by the press conference, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like, you reminded me of, when a politician gets caught in a sex scandal and he has his wife right next to him, like apologizing. Yeah. And so that reminded me exactly like the I'm sorry for what I did. But just got your thoughts on Chael Sonnen's retirement and is TRT now finally getting rid of these old guys and getting new guys up now?
Yeah. For the longest, I think they should have probably done this because it really is again. I don't agree too much with John Jones, but I did agree with the one statement he said with that it is unfair that when you get old, you get both the best worlds, which is experience and youth. Yeah, and that's something you know it's almost impossible to get, but there is a way to get it with using TRT and stuff. And it's true. I mean, if you can't naturally compete anymore, maybe it is time to just hang the gloves up.
Guillermo, what about you?
I'm upset. I want to see Chael Sonnen. What other star can really promote himself the way Chael Sonnen? Who's going to take his place? That's my question, and that's why I'm upset.
I think maybe DC is the only one, right?
Well, I feel there's been
and I don't think DC matches up to Chael Sonnen.
That's been doing the Chael Sonnen blueprint, and you see more vocal fighters. I mean, they're not as good as Chael Sonnen, but you've seen a lot more vocal fighters in the last year.
Yeah, but I'm talking about cross promotion outside of the UFC.
True. Yeah.
I mean, but when you talk about somebody. People know who Chael Sonnen is, regardless if they watch UFC or not.
I think DC's getting to that level too. I think not only that. I mean, that guy is so well respected. in any media.
But DC's already old and aged. Who's the young guy coming up to
Chael Sonnen's pushing 40 too, but
and I think the problem with getting rid of TRT, we're gonna get rid of all these guys that are legendary fighters.
Like you said, time will come, right? Yeah. I mean, obviously, Guillermo, you have your soccer jersey on.
We believe that we will win.
Is that a Landon Donovan jersey or just number 10 jersey?
It's actually Landon Donovan jersey.
So what if...
but this is from the last World Cup. That doesn't count.
You don't think Landon Donovan would benefit from a little TRT? But wouldn't that clog up...
If Landon Donovan was on TRT...
the drain, though, in the system?
See, that's the whole thing.
So it's kind of... maybe a clog now. We got some
hair
out of the clog.
Hopefully, when USA plays Ghana, we'll see all these young guys that will showcase their skill and ability that say, oh, there's a reason why Landon Donovan was left out.
I think some of the older fighters should take it more of an honor that they're going to get upset. They're fighting at 40 and then this is it, or 36 or whatever, because this is a tough sport. And not that many fighters last. And so if you can last until you're 36, 40, I think that's an honor on its own. And there's no reason for you to hold on to anything. You did what you did.
Exactly.
I'm kind of worried for the UFC. Who are these young guys that are going to come
There's the Prince, Rory MacDonald, still there. John Jones, I don't know if you know this, but he's barely in his mid-20s, if that. You still
Tell me one guy from each weight class that is this up-and-coming guy that is going to replace all these legendary guys. Yeah, that's going to replace these legendary
That's a whole different discussion.
Heavyweight. Yes, it's big. Heavyweight. Maybe your boy Todd Duffy.
Yeah, my boy Todd Duffy.
No one knows where he's at.
Light heavyweight. I don't know. Phil Davis. Maybe. I don't know.
Phil Davis.
He lost. He just lost though. But
Avian St. Pouilloux.
180. 180. Chris Weidman's still kind of young.
Chris Weidman's
170.
Young.
You got your boy Rory Mac.
My boy Rory
155.
Mac.
155.
Are these guys going to be legendary?
Bruce
to
Lee,
replace
Bruce
the
Lee,
Wanderlei
Roy?
Silvas, the Vitor Belforts, the
We still have
Chael
10
Sonnens,
years
the
of
BJ Penns, the
still
George
gonna-
St. Pierre's, the Anderson Silvas.
That's true. I mean, yeah, I think. Well, those guys just come along once in a while, so who knows? But it's going to switch notes. Notes now to the other big news. I thought was not really big news. I thought it was kind of funny. But did you guys hear Chris Weidman's getting his own TV special?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, the All-American Chris Weidman, presented by the UFC. It's going to premiere on Sunday on Fox Sports 1.
Is it a reality show?
No, it's like a little prime time behind the scenes, but just with Chris Weidman.
You know why? Because just like John Jones, you gotta force it down the people's pipe. You really gotta sell them. You gotta really put it in everybody's faces. You know why? Because no one gets behind John Jones and no one gets behind Chris Weidman. You know why? He's from Jersey.
It's an hour-long special that will follow Weidman's journey, early days of the MMA, from Long Island to his career to his capturing the belt. So, just get your thoughts on this. I mean, are you like behind this?
I'm not gonna watch it.
Are you behind like a special for one guy?
No.
Is this kind of blatant, obvious, like marketing?
UFC just came out with a new little series. They started since the last pay-per-view, which is called UFC Embedded.
Yeah, I saw
which
that.
it kind of replaced their other one that they had, which was like
RFA had their own too.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
And I like it because not just because the one they had previously kind of just followed Dana White. And now with Embedded, they follow Dana White, but all the main fighters, and you get to see the leading up to it, a little bit more realistic, more you get more feel for what they do in a daily life than you see in the countdown. Because I think countdown's more of like a quick highlight and maybe the road to it. Well, Embedded, you get to actually see them as a person.
I think,
and I think I love that because you see all the perspective. But I think you kind of lose it when it's just one person, and then it kind of feels like you're forcing Chris Weidman on me right now, bro.
You're a fan of the 1 hour long special?
Yeah, but Embedded, you get to see it for yourself and be like, you know what, Tyrone is actually a pretty great guy. He goes to church on Sundays, and it's just stuff like that.
I'm a fan because you get to learn the guy. I mean,
but
the thing about primetime,
an hour long on Chris Weidman.
Yeah,
is he really that interesting?
But the thing about primetime is that it's like a good feeling story.
Yeah, obviously,
they show the positives of every fighter.
We know that his house got destroyed with the rain thing. I don't know if they're probably going to do that again. We know that he went through a fluke and he can't get acceptance. So, I mean, that's what's pretty much
what I'm hoping for is behind all that. Is pretty much like you guys said, like Embedded, where you guys see behind.
We know he trains with Matt Sarah Jiu-Jitsu.
But what I'm saying is, I hate that you try to give.
I don't know.
You're trying to give a guy. This is why I don't like Little
Okay,
Caesars
okay, go
because
on.
either there's pepperoni or cheese. Give me some flavor.
I know,
Let
you
me
know
choose
what it is?
the
No,
one
Guillermo,
I
I
can
got
get
it.
the jalapeno one.
He wants the little bit cheetah hour special. That's what it is.
See how
He's kind of shenanigans. That's what you want, right?
To tell the truth,
Dragon's
I would
Hour is
watch-
what
yeah,
you
But
want.
you
I would
watch
watch an
Jersey
8-hour
Shore, so I don't know
special.
how that changes.
That's true. You guys all watch Jersey Shore. You guys all get to that.
First
That's
two
a guilty
seasons.
pleasure.
Like it or don't like it, the Chris Weidman special is coming to a TV near you.
I
So
ever miss Jersey Shore.
next topic, Dana White came out and
After
said
the
that
first season, it wasn't that good.
next topic, Dana White said that most likely TJ Dillashaw will face Renan Barao again for his first title defense. You guys like this or not? Because he said like, why not? He's basically Dana White said, why not? Look at everybody else in the division. Nobody else is there. So more like, even though it was a TKO finish, looks like TJ Dillashaw is going to face Renan Barao again.
I think there is some champions when they lose, they deserve the right to at least prove themselves again one more time.
But that usually happens with like a decision victory. Look at BJ Penn, Frank Yeager.
But what I'm saying is because of his long streak and his thing, it could have been a mental thing and whatever. But I think because of his record in the road he took, he deserves a rematch. While maybe some other champions, you're like, oh, come on, let's switch it up a little bit. But I feel like he really does deserve a rematch. Maybe we could see another good fight. I mean, it was still a good fight, regardless.
I don't think so. I think it's opposite. Just because he had a bad night doesn't give him a right to be already number one.
Prove
contender.
again for the good night, right?
Yeah, but he has to prove it again, just like anybody else. If they were to lose, and then let's say John Bone Jones beats, like he beat Alexander, why should he get a rematch? Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. He has to work his way up to fight me again. Same thing with Renan Barao. He lost. He had a bad night.
Yeah.
He should prove himself again.
I think I wouldn't be so like upset with this if it was a decision victory or split decision, whatever. But it was a TKO. He finished him.
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
I agree.
Let's go back to another sport, tennis again. Since I used it last week.
Okay.
Nadal just won the French Open over Djokovic. Oh well, Djokovic had a bad day. Let's replay the French Open. or the French finals again.
But they'll see him in the U.S. Open.
Exactly. So but again, they have to get to that championship match. So I mean, I just think it's only fair for Renan Barao to go up. But again, at the end of the day, it's money.
Yeah.
What fight will bring you the most bang for your buck for Dana White is Renan Barao versus TJ Dillashaw.
On the flip side to that, it's what Alex kind of led into it was, I mean, who else would you put though? Dude, let's keep it real honest. Who else would you put in that division to face Asensio? We don't know where Asensio. Asensio hasn't come back yet.
I guess
Asensio's been calling TJ Dillashaw out. I beat you, TJ Dillashaw. Didn't you say TJ Dillashaw shouldn't be in the championship fight? It should be Asensio.
It's true.
I think it's just in that manner too, that tone. But
again, impression of Albert.
Like it or love it, looks like Renan Barao's gonna fight TJ Dillashaw again. All right, so the next one.
Wait, before we leave it, you know what I think it is?
What?
They've been doing a lot of Brazil versus USA, and I've seen a lot of posters. I've seen a lot of posters where they put the Brazilian flag and the U.S. flags, and they did it over and over and over. They did it for the Chad Mendes, Jose Aldo. They're doing it for Leo Machida, Chris Wyman. They did it for the TJ Dillashaw and Brown. I think they want to just keep going. I don't know why. I think maybe it is a good rivalry going on.
Just got that template.
But Asensio, isn't he Brazilian?
Yeah,
technically he is Brazilian too. So that will work into their promotion.
You're just getting burned. All right, so I want to ask you guys a question. You guys watching Ultimate Fighter 19?
No.
BJ Penn versus Frank Yeager?
I did not watch one episode.
The Tough 19.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I saw like the first 3 or 4 episodes.
Then what
but
happened?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not invested in it.
Okay, because
what weight class is it? First of all, because I don't even
see
know.
That'll tell you. I know it's the upper class. I want to say it's light heavyweight and middleweight.
Okay, because
that's a straight up guess. Though.
Because according to Dana White, this is without a doubt the worst season of Ultimate Fighter.
Wow.
So
I've seen plenty of.
But in terms of talent,
I think just everything, the whole show. He said, but doesn't he say that all the time now? It seems like every season is like they're going to be the best season.
The last 3 seasons, Arm says the same thing.
I just think it's too.
So like, my question is Tough kind of run out of steam?
Yeah, I mean, it's too many, too much.
The only one that I think was the successor, other than UFC, the Tough Enough one, was the Chael Sonnen one. And the other ones were kind of
so
maybe season 5.
It's more the rivalry between the coaches that they're trying to sell it to you now.
Kind of came out of nowhere too, right? Like, BJ Penn's back,
making his return.
Frankie Edgar, what?
It was kind of quick too, yeah.
And then like at featherweight, okay, that's kind of weird. And then like they don't have a heated rivalry either. I mean, they don't talk smack to each other. I haven't seen that episodes, but I mean. It seems like every season Dana White's always arguing.
And think about it. We already have the next 2 lined up, which is Cain Velasquez Verdum and then Gilbert Melendez versus Anthony Showtime Pettis. So how can you go searching for this world-class talent?
Yeah.
And I think it's getting watered down.
I just think it's coming to pattern now. Dana White's apologizing for the Ultimate Fighter now. Right? Yeah. So
like after every season, he's like, "Oh,
no, we'll do better next time." All right, so last one of the news and notes. Obviously, a couple weeks ago, Anderson Silva said when he returns to the octagon that he would like to face none other than Nick Diaz.
That's a good fight.
Yeah, Nick Diaz. They said, "I'll do it for the right price." And then now Dana White's actually trying to get behind it. Now he says, "Yeah, why wouldn't I do this?" So. Is this one question? Is this fight going to happen? And 2, do you like it, Guillermo?
Yes, it's going to happen. I mean, Nick Diaz has always said he wants to fight the best caliber fighters. I mean, no matter what he says, he's done dealing with these little, up the rankings. He just wants the best.
Carlos Condens?
Yeah, he wants to prove himself that he deserves to be in the same plateau as these best fighters in the world, and I think it's a good test for Nick Diaz. And on the flip side, it's good for Anderson Silva to test himself against Nick Diaz before he jumps into wanting to fight John Bone Jones. GSP, so I guess it's a good test for him because he's coming off a big injury, and I think that's a good test for him.
Albert, is it going to happen?
I know he's shaking his head, but I mean, like you don't throw Anderson Silva to the wolves after you break your leg that way.
What you say? What you said? Nick Diaz is not a wolf.
Well, Nick Diaz has to prove himself that he's a wolf.
Do you like it? Is it going to happen?
I like it, but the only reason I was shaking my hands because these fights have no, it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't.
It does.
It's Wonder Silva versus Kong Leo over again.
What? So what if he wins? So what? What is he do? Gonna bump up 2 spots? How about you go beat Carlos Condit first? Matter of fact, why don't you beat Tyron Woodley first?
But I don't think it's about the belt.
But
I really don't.
No,
money, right?
That's what
it's
I'm
about the
saying.
money.
That's what I'm saying. This is like a fan fight, and I think from now on, that's how you should treat Anderson Silva as a fan fighter.
Well, it's like Chael Sonnen and Wanderlei Silva, right?
Yeah,
nobody wants. I mean,
exactly.
But fight meant nothing.
But to answer your
a little bit. I mean, they said whoever wins was gonna go like probably competing in the middleweight.
Come on, don't.
Is it gonna happen? Do you think?
That yeah.
Give me percentage chance.
I want it to happen, but I'm giving it like a 40% chance it'll happen.
Yeah, knowing Nick Diaz, I give it like 50%.
It's gonna come down to money. He's not gonna agree on something.
He's not gonna want to do the whole media thing. It's like, let me just fight Anderson Silva, bro.
I wish but I really wish it would happen.
I get to slap everybody else. Let me slap Anderson Silva. That's what he's gonna say.
That's it for today's segment of news and notes. Stick around. We're going to talk about UFC 174 and talk about the return of the Pitbull, Andrei Arlovski, and also Rory MacDonald. So stick around.
Please visit FiveRoundMMA.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. FiveRoundMMA.com.
Welcome back. UFC 174 is now in the books, in the history books, and then if you turn the pages, you'll see Demetrious Johnson is still the only UFC flyweight champion. But before we get to the meat and bones, the storylines of UFC 174, what are some of event highlights and undercard bouts that stuck out in your mind? I know Mike Easton lost.
Well, that's Albert's boy. I'm pretty sure he would want to talk about that.
Yeah.
No.
You want to skip your boy, Alvin St. Pierre?
Yeah, let's just throw off there. Alvin
breaking
St. Pierre.
Ryan Jimmo's arm.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, it sounds more cooler than what really happened. What transpired?
There was no Frank Mir and Nogueira.
Yeah, I think they're still trying to debate on how he broke it, when and how he broke his arm. But nonetheless, you guys were. I don't know if it was Alex. I'm pretty sure it was Guillermo. When I brought up Alvin St. Pierre, he kind of gave me like, okay, why are you talking about a bunch of nobodies? I'm telling you, this is a kid to look out for, and he's on a streak. So,
the thing I said about Ryan Jimmo is that you were upset with the Ryan Jimmo because he did mess up our Vegas bets when we were in Vegas. That's the only thing about Ryan Jimmo. But the thing about I'm looking at OSP, not GSP, is he's 31 years old. He's 16-5. He's up and coming.
Yeah, 16-5. That means he hasn't really fought.
Guillermo's a big age guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What an ages, bro. Let's say
in the era of TRT, age means nothing.
No. Let's say
you want to know his last loss?
What?
His last loss was against Gegard Mousasi.
Oh, that's respect.
That's what I said. That like, were you listening to me last week?
No, I wasn't. I really don't pay attention to you.
Obviously not, because I said that last week. Anyways, I think the average age of a fighter to retire now is like around 37.
Good God.
I really do think
like baseball players, yeah.
So he has a good 6 years. If you think about it, I mean, you can do a lot in 6 years.
Yeah. Well, if...
Look what we did in 1 year.
Exactly. Also, I'd be stupid if I didn't mention Ryan Bader won.
Oh, yeah.
But that was an impressive win. Watching the fight, I mean, like, it seemed like he was just grinding it out.
That's what Ryan Bader does best.
Look,
just wrestling down.
That's what he does
his
best.
punches didn't hurt.
That's what he's done for.
Kamikaze kept going forward to go exchange.
Look, you are describing a typical Ryan Bader fight. So I don't know why you're
Ryan Bader got scared of his knockout power.
Exactly.
So he goes to wrestle him down.
101. What are you talking about right now?
I swear I almost fell asleep in the fight.
Ryan Bader 101.
When a fighter loses his path, sometimes it's better just to go back to the basics, bro. What got you to the show? That power double, and he showed it. This is what got me here. This was going to keep me here.
Speaking of the fighters,
so I appreciated that.
I've been watching Street Fighter's Assassin's Fist.
Oh wow! Told you,
it's good.
It's really good.
It's a live action.
It's inspiring that there's fans out there making stuff like that. Yeah, it's on YouTube for free, guys.
Oh yeah, Street Fighter's Assassin's Fist, very good.
Ooh, awesome.
So Ryan Bader reminded you of Street Fighter?
Well, it's the training. The fighter's path.
You better.
It's pretty good. Live action take on the Street Fighter story. Also, I want first storyline. The biggest one so far in the main card was Andrei Arlovski returning to the UFC.
Well, I wouldn't say a big win
and defeating Brendan Schaub.
By a split.
A win is a win in the record books. Andrei Arlovski, is he on the road back to reclaiming his UFC gold?
Like Albert said last week, there's nobody in the heavyweight division. So yes, now he has way better matchups coming up his way. It's Twitter because he knows he's not going to get to the top.
Yeah, it's Twitter beat because look,
bittersweet.
Sorry.
I'm glad he's back in the UFC. I'm glad he's back in the winning column in UFC. But he looked horrible. I mean, Brandon was landing those vicious uppercuts. I saw so much holes in it. His stand-up's supposed to be one of the best things, and there's a lot of holes that night. A lot of holes. I don't know if it was just Brandon. It just stepped it up that much, or I don't know. But I mean, I'm glad that he's there, and I'm glad he got a win. But I don't know about competing with the top 3, the top 4 guys.
Okay, how about let's do the top 15? I have in front of me.
Okay, top 15. He can compete. He can compete top 15.
I'm not sure about that. I have in front of me the UFC's official top 15
rankings. Chicago's still on there?
Number 15, Solo Paleli.
Oh man, the Hulk
that guy's number 15.
Yeah, 14 is Brendan Schaub, who actually went down one spot.
He should go way down.
13 is Big Nog. 12,
he can beat him.
Stefan Struve. 11, Gonzaga.
Oh, Gonzaga.
10, Frank Mir.
He could beat him. He could beat Frank Mir.
9, Roy Nelson.
He could beat Roy
him.
Nelson.
No, Roy Nelson will beat him.
8
Yeah, Roy Nelson
is
will
Mark Hunt.
Ooh, Super Saiyan Mark Hunt.
7, Alistair Overeem.
He could be Overeem.
6.
No, he
No,
can't.
6.
No, I didn't even believe it when
Number
I said
6 ranked is Guillermo's boy, Stipe Miocic.
Well, Stipe
no.
will destroy
Arlovski. Number 5 is Josh Barnett.
Ooh.
I think they fought before.
Maybe. Well, I think they fought before.
Number 3, Bigfoot Silva.
Oh, no, they were supposed to fight them.
I think he could be Bigfoot, but I don't know. Bigfoot with one of those punches will knock him.
Hey, you know what? I like that fight.
Yeah,
we should
so
put
do I.
that Bigfoot fight together. I like it.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, so do I. I like it.
Number 3, Travis Browning.
Ooh.
They're from the same camp, so they won't fight.
Okay. 2, JDS.
JDS will win
And
that
also, obviously,
easily.
you got Verdum.
One round.
JDS will
Obviously, you
murder.
got Verdum and Velasquez running
Yeah.
out the top. So I don't know. I mean, out of those,
I like
out of those 15,
the
do you
Bigfoot
get 3?
one, and I give him 3 fights
Barnett,
in that top
Bigfoot,
15.
and maybe Roy Nelson.
Well, hopefully we'll
Frank
see.
Mir for sure.
Yeah.
I think Frank Mir.
Well, he's
should-
a big knock. He's a big knock.
Well, Frank Mir used to be in that camp, and I think he left the camp now.
Yeah,
So
that was a great,
maybe.
great
Maybe.
Jackson camp, right?
Yeah.
All right, so next one I'll talk about is obviously it's gonna
Near
be
and
hot,
dear.
gonna get hot and heated in here. Rory MacDonald.
Can I just do?
Go for
Can
it.
I just lay out
Yes, go
my
for it.
presentation first
Okay.
before
Yes.
you guys
Well,
try to attack me?
the question is Rory MacDonald's road to the championship? Is it now starting to be? Is it being paved in gold now, according to you? Because he's gonna come off 2 wins, decision wins off Damian Maia and Tyron Woodley. Because is his road being paved now to the championship, to the throne, as you stated last week?
Okay, all right. I understand there's some sharks in this weight division, right?
Mm.
But people, or I don't know why you guys are hung over this decision thing, right? Let me break it down for you, okay?
Okay.
Champion Johnny Hendricks in the last, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? His last 6 fights, 5 have gone decision, 1 only TKO now, and 5 straight decisions to be.
Johnny Hendricks?
Johnny Hendricks. Look it up. 5 straight decisions. So when you guys say Roy MacDonald can't finish, your own champion can't finish. All right.
My own champion.
He's at 5 decisions
I didn't
straight.
vote for him.
Okay. Ever heard of a guy named Anderson Silva? People don't seem to forget he has 7 decisions in his record book. I mean, he even went the distance, and he's considered. And then I can't believe you guys forget about the reigning most dominant UFC welterweight champion George St. Pierre. I don't know if you know this, but he had 12 decision wins. And if you look at towards the end of his career, when people consider him to be the most dominant, the last time he got a finish was in January 31st, 2009.
Okay.
Come on now.
So my point is.
With that said, I think Rory MacDonald's in a good place.
Okay, but I mean, like, obviously, you don't think the welter division wants to get away from those decision victories. I mean, what's Johnny Hendricks' reputation, Guillermo? What's his reputation?
For who?
Johnny Hendricks, what's reputation?
KO.
Yeah, but
the
yeah,
knockout
he's
power.
been decision.
What's
Yeah.
Carlos Condit's reputation?
Finishing guys, knocking them out like Dan
What's
Hardy.
Matt Brown's
He's in a
reputation?
losing
knocking them
streak.
out.
Robbie Lawler, what's his? These
Knocking
are
him
guys
out.
are kind of in front of Rory MacDonald.
I get the theme. Knockout.
I mean, I'm saying, like, the UFC was under that GSP reign for so long. You don't think they want killers in that division now?
Like, again, we have a different type of killer here.
I mean, you could say, oh, he's dominant in the
It goes-
stand-up,
it
but
goes-
when
it
Tyron
goes-
Woodley's still standing at the end of the fight.
It goes back to my original argument a long time ago when I said Hector Lombard likes to attack the stake.
Stun gun. What's Stun Gun's reputation?
Knockout. His nickname is Stun him.
But okay,
Kevin Gastelum. What's his? He's finishing people left and right.
you guys are arguing about the knockout, but you guys also forget
Well,
he
I'm
has
not-
6 knockouts.
Can we start our
he has
argument?
He has 17.
Where-
he has
we haven't
17
even
wins
started our
overall,
argument.
Yeah.
and he has 6 knockouts. So the guy could knock out. That's almost equivalent to any other fighter that has knockout wins.
I'm just saying recently. I mean,
Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Can I start my
go,
rant?
go for it. Go.
But recently, Hendricks hasn't knocked out anybody either.
Well, he's been hurt too.
Okay, well, here's the thing: is Albert's the first one to cry. Wolf, whenever they get a decision, go against his fighter. So if it's Machida, if it's Rory MacDonald, he's the first one to say, "What that's baloney. The judges had it wrong. Didn't they see what I saw? Blah blah blah." Here's the thing: how you get away from that? You finish fighters. If he was so dominant over Tyron Woodley, which he was, he should have finished that, whether it was submission, whether it was a knockout. Tyron Woodley was just backed up against the cage the whole entire time.
So-
the first round, if you saw that, Tyron Woodley was taking it to Rory MacDonald. He gassed out,
Yeah.
and then Rory Mac was able to display everything he learned during training, which is fine.
Yeah.
But the thing is, one of those punches from Johnny Hendricks will knock him out.
So that goes back to
and
remember.
you have to be consistent about it.
Remember when he fought BJ Penn and he was just dominating, but he couldn't get the finish?
Yeah.
So is that a lack of killer instinct on his part? Does Rory Mac not have a killer instinct?
I really don't. Personally, I think for Rory Mac,
none of this play with the food analogies. Does he have a killer instinct in him?
No, this Oscar De La Hoya, Oscar De La Hoya actually saw that fight, and he tweeted out the same thing. He said, Rory MacDonald has the technical ability of any great fighter. And this is coming from a boxer.
I agree.
But he does not. This is coming from a fighter perspective. You know, when a guy has a killer instinct, he does not have a killer instinct.
Okay.
And that's come from Oscar De La Hoya, who is a fighter, which I agree. But just because of that doesn't necessarily mean he's not trying to finish or can finish. I think he's more about, let me get all this, let me take all the knives, chop it up real quick, and if the finish then I'll get it.
Let me compare it to Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva does the exact same thing, showing his technique and everything like that. But we want to really finish someone. I really don't like you. I'm going to finish you however I like. And I think that's what Rory MacDonald needs to take the next step to be considered a GSP, Anderson Silva.
So basically, with this lack of killer instinct, was that going to help him or hurt him?
Hurt him because, like I said, if it comes to the judges, it's going to go against them. Eventually, it's going to come in hot.
I'm talking about the judges, but the UFC, do they want this guy even competing for a title? Because they're the ones in charge, right? Do they say, Rory Mac? Because remember, in the past, Dana White has been on Rory MacDonald's case.
At the end of the day, it should be an entertaining fight. The difference between George St. Pierre and Rory MacDonald is called entertainment. I think George St. Pierre did more stuff to just control the ground, and Rory MacDonald's actually punching the guy. If you watch the fight, it was an entertaining and good fight.
It was,
regardless of a finish or not finish. And I think that's necessarily the big statement here.
I just don't think Rory Mac has knockout power.
Even if you look at the other fights, even the BJ Penn one. Yeah, he didn't finish him. It was still an entertaining fight.
Yeah.
Something that George St. Pierre didn't. He would bore his audience. That's what I'm trying to say is the major difference.
Bore his audience,
here.
he was the number one guy to sell.
Because
as long as you're number one seller, you're good in Dana White's book.
He couldn't get beat.
He'd bore the haters. So I'm just saying, but my point about the UFC not wanting Rory Mac, I mean, this bout was between the number 2 and number 3 contenders, right?
I think Dana White will have a change of heart.
But yet, Robbie Lawler, who's number 1, and Mike Brown, number 5, that's the number 1 contender fight. I mean, what is it? It's just because of Robbie Lawler's ahead of Rory Mac? Is that what it is?
Yeah, because he beat Rory Mac?
No. History has shown us if you're part of Dana White's boys, guess what? You get all the opportunities. It's always happened.
So
Forrest Griffin didn't get as far as he got because he was a good fighter. Let's keep it real. He was good friends with Dana White.
So what's going to take for Rory Mac to get
he was
Dana
champion,
White's good side?
Yeah, but against who?
I'm just thinking, like, Rory Mac, obviously the talent's there. I just want him to start finishing people. That way there's no doubt in anybody's mind, especially the guys in higher brass. Okay, this guy's a title
just
shot.
Just look at the criticism Jose Aldo's getting.
For not finishing people.
For not finishing.
Even though he's known as a finisher.
He's not lately. But
and lately?
That's what I'm saying.
Who has been
but no one
him
said
out?
that about Johnny Hendricks.
Yeah.
Lately, he's gone 5 decisions. No one said nothing about that.
Yeah, but the thing is...
5 decisions. Imagine 5 fights. That's a lot, guys.
Yeah.
5 fights.
No, I totally agree,
remember
but it seems like every fight Johnny Hendricks is in, he's
people,
hurt. He breaks his arm.
We got one more.
We got one more?
Yeah.
But I don't need the laptop for the one more.
Mighty Mouse.
Yeah.
See, again, you're always bashing...
Mighty Mouse. Obviously, okay, switch it up now. Mighty Mouse Johnson defeated Ali Baghdadinov decision, another dominant performance. What I want to ask you guys is...
I like this Muay Thai clinches. They're nice.
I want you guys to rank...
Thank you, Guillermo. I appreciate that.
I guys want you to rank Mighty Mouse's championship status right now in the UFC, because I think that he's probably the number 2 champion right now in the UFC.
I totally agree with you, dude.
It's John Jones than him. Because think about this for clarification. Opponents and obviously defending the title regularly. I know you're a big Cain Velasquez fan, but he hasn't really defended the title at all, right?
Yeah, I know, but it's unfair when you take the Begahamut of Junior Dos Santos.
You can make the case it's Jones, Mighty Mouse, and Rousey, right? The top 3 champions right now.
No, Cain Velasquez is number 1, but
no.
Defending the title.
Yes.
What goes against Cain Velasquez is he's not an active champion, and Demetrious Johnson is almost showing that he is the most active champion. Ronda Rousey is obviously the most active champion, I think, and the most entertaining. I think we'll probably have to go down
Ronda Rousey takes the least amount of punishment, like in terms of
no, that's her fault. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it really isn't her fault. So she has a quick turnaround, but. That's what people want to see, an active champion. Nobody likes seeing someone like fight 2 fights and you're the champion. That's what I think Ben Henderson said it the best. I mean, you have to be a fighting champion. People appreciate that. You can hate Demetrious Johnson, but it's hard not to respect the guy. It's hard not to respect a guy that's been the only flyweight champion. It's hard not to respect a guy that has such a quick turnaround in his fights.
Yeah. Well, you're just disrespecting him by closing your
no,
laptop.
I'm showing respect because I know everything about Demetrious Johnson without looking up his information.
That's true. I think we'll all agree that probably behind John Jones, he's the second best champion in the UFC. Is that it for today?
That's it for today.
That's it for today. Rory Mac.
Just really quick, I believe that we will win.
USA
Yeah,
fights.
Hopefully, by the time this show there is, the USA will be facing.
I'll tell you
Ghana.
this: it is going to be my year because USA is going to win the World Cup, and Rory MacDonald's going to win the welterweight championship.
I hope you're right on one of them.
I know. I'm going to be 2 for 2.
I hope you're right on both.
Yeah,
but
I hope you're right on
at
both,
least
too.
one, I'm okay with.
So we're on board McDonald. We'll just give you a hard time because you're the biggest defender here, and like we just want. I want
still
him.
love
I want
Rory
him
MacDonald.
to.
I like a guy that plays with this food instead of just
I
shoving
know.
it in his mouth
Just
and
eat
chewing
it.
it like Robbie Lawler and Matt Brown.
All right, then until next week, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FiveRoundMMA. That's FIVE. RoundMMA.com. Also like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and we're also on the SoundCloud now too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
SoundCloud.
And always check out FiveRoundMMA.com, which is now newly revamped and newly designed, a little more friendly to the eye, aesthetically pleasing.
Yes.
Yep. And on the big.
And hopefully we can add some stuff to the website too, some
Yep.
forums,
Also,
some debates.
if you or
Join
anybody,
us on the debates.
Yeah. If you or anybody else at FiveRoundMMA.com, FiveRoundMMA.com at gmail.com, and we'll like to do an interview.
Yeah.
Exposure. So that will be featured on our website, FiveRoundMMA.com, and also on OvertimeNation.com. And while you're there, read our articles about the MMA world. Also, we keep up with all the Charlie's been up to in the World Cup coverage. I think Guillermo's going to get on.
I think a better game to play with is to choose which game Ollie Charlie's going to cover because he throws wrenches in there. He's like, you know what? I'm going to cover.
I like Colombia
yeah.
versus
Yeah,
Greece.
so
I was almost expecting
that's entertaining on its own.
I was almost expecting Ivory Coast Japan recap, but it didn't happen. Make sure to follow Overtime Nation on Twitter at OvertimeNation.com and always check out Overtime Nation. No, Twitter at overtime_nation and go to overtimenation.com. A big thank you to Rock and Green Soap, makers of eco-friendly soaps and detergents. Follow them on Twitter at Rock and Green Soap and go to the website rockandgreensoap.com. And they also bring to us every week the super clean Rock and Green star of the show. Or the Charlie, who's it this week? Guillermo.
Wow, thank you, Oliver.
Rocking the patriotism, I think, right?
I know.
It's because you wear the
jersey.
USA jersey. You know what, Guillermo? You deserve it.
Thank you, Albert.
Yes. Super clean Rock and Green star of the show is brought to you by Rock and Green Soap. And also big thank you to Redemption Martial Arts. The RMA Foundation is a non-profit organization committed to anti-bullying awareness. Please visit redemptionmartialarts.com to see how you can join the movement to stop bullying and follow them on Twitter at redemption_MA. Rise up against bullying, as we all should.
I think I had good points today. I kept Albert kind of in check, and he didn't get out of control today.
Just because you keep repeating that sound doesn't mean you keep me in check.
I said so.
Anyways, I'd like to thank our executive producer, Guillermo Cita, our engineer over there, Ollie the Charlie, our sound engineer, Cian Razzle with Razzle Records. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Go USA.
Roz Records, music, audio, podcast now, too. So check them out, rozrecords.com.
Cream of the crop.